Multi-exclusive dimensional being Kai with another exclusive. Today's video is going to be about colon cancer and how to beat colon cancer. Because there's many theories out here on the fact on how it was created, how it's not able to be cured, or people, places, and things witnessing this. As for instance, may his spirit and his soul rise in peace. Black Panther, aka Chadwick Boseman. So, if you believe everything that the media tells you, then you're compromised. We're not in that age anymore as far as age of Pisces, which I believe. We in the we can just say age of Aquarius, but it's not the age of, it's your age of this Aquarius, of your point of view, of your reference, of how you see things, which is I know. Aquarius means I know. So the simple fact that they telling people all around the world globally that he died from this cancer says a lot, because they also switched up his age, which I wanted to basically touch up on in the last video, but it was so much evidence and key evidence. Of course, they say he died at the age of 43. His jersey number was 42 in the movie Jackie Robinson. So that's another key reference. And of course, that's where they screwed up. They try to make it seem not too easy, but the stars don't lie and the numbers don't lie. So when you add it up, you got the number 13. So, that's what the media trying to tell people of what had happened to him. But at the end of the day, it had nothing to do with him at all. As far as him having colon cancer. And colon cancer is something that kills you slowly but surely. It's not like he had it for decades or years and ages. Some people say he had it. Some people say he didn't have it. But at the end of the day, whether he had it or not, that wasn't the reason why he died. Feel me? And there's many ways to kill people. They don't have to be on the bed or be plugged in. They can kill you. They can pull a plug on you even when you're not in the bed. So it don't really make a difference, because regardless of what treatments or minerals or anything that he was taking, or people in general that's taking that, at the end of the day, the doctors can't help you with that issue, and the doctors can't cure you from that issue. I'm letting people, places, and things know, because a lot of people get into this whole simple fact that, oh, I went to medical school, I studied this, I did that. But at the end of the day, you did all that shit, and you was basically rocked to sleep, and you was practiced old witchcraft on. The people that created these diseases, they wasn't meant to cure you from it. They meant to basically create experiments and basically cause the population and destruction and lives. And of course, when you give paid attention to something, you give your energy, what happens? It grows, it get bigger. So when you're paying all your attention and energy to negative shit, that's basically what's going to be the outcome of it, regardless of how you look at it. So you can't really sit here and say at the end of the day, oh, the doctor said I can't get rid of this, the doctor said this can't be cured, or you go on Google. Listen, Google is not your friend. Google was not intended to be your friend. Google may have good shit on there, Google may have bad shit on there, but not everything on there is accurate or true, because at the end of the day, if you read between the lines and you know what kind of world we are in, aka a holistic world, but you can make a heaven out of your hell. You could basically bring your heaven on earth, and you're powerful at the end of the day. The doctors did not create you. Your mother and your father, they was combining on both ends harmoniously or harmfully, depending on how you was brought up. Now look, when it takes two to make one, so it takes two to make three. So the more weight added, the more things bring down and come into density. So with that being said, you, as I'm speaking to you through this camera, you are in control of your life. You are in control of what you do. You are in control of what you receive. You are in control of what you bring and manifest out of the circumstance situation. So at the end of the day, if your spirit knew what it was doing when it created your body, when it created all these cells and all these fluids and all these characteristics and all these traits and all the skin cells and all these cells in your body general, it knew what the fuck it was doing. And the body heals itself if treated properly and fairly and correctly. So when you put yourself in a circumstance situation to treat your body correctly and take care of that shit without nobody outside of you putting their dirty hands or putting their dirty energy into your water, into your fluid, into your shape, to your form, then you know what you're doing because you know yourself, you know your body, feel me? You're not allowing somebody outside of you to be like, oh, do this, try that, because you don't know what kind of influences is going to basically put impact on your life. So you need to understand that. And once you know that, you would know how to take things into consideration on where to go about as far as healing yourself from anything. Because colon cancer, that's something that you're gonna be able to heal on yourself if you're being treated fairly and properly. Now, if you allowing a doctor or somebody outside of you to basically keep diagnosing you and giving you this shit, then it's basically gonna fuck with you and put you in a circumstance situation. And then when it does that shit, it's gonna basically tamper with you. And then after that, when you put yourself in a circumstance situation by believing and trusting this to somebody, then you don't know what you're doing. You're just basically believing it's a false idol, a false reference, which means you don't believe in yourself, which means you don't believe you can heal this on yourself, which means you believe that somebody outside of you is going to do what they want to do. But at the end of the day, you're paying for this shit too. And remember, they want you to come out of pocket. And of course, especially when you don't got insurance, if it's expensive and shit. But at the end of the day, you got to take this into consideration. It's a scam. If my health got to be paid for out of pocket, you can't just heal me being that I'm a human being. And that's takes into consideration. You should learn how to do shit to yourself, do shit your own. Have your own hospital, have your own nurse, have your own way of basically healing people. Feel me? And you don't even got to do this shit for free. If they willing to pay you, if they willing to give you a bonus or something because you cured them from they fuck ups or they screw ups as far as people, places, and things outside of them, or they not doing things in moderation, then that's on them. But when it comes down to colon cancer or all these diseases, they say it runs in a family, right? It runs in a family because your family member or somebody that basically equipped with it or had it or came across it was diagnosed with it. Feel me? And that's basically trusting our doctors, which we are our own doctors because our body heals itself if it's being taken care of. The moment you allow somebody to basically take this physical representations to try to heal you, it's a fact, and they don't know what the fuck they doing. They just basically think the medicine is doing its job, but in truth and reality, it's created another substance, it's created another circumstance situation. Now look, when when you put these vaccines, and when you get vaccines, and when you go through these phases and shit, what happens is it accumulates and it creates another circumstance situation. Vaccines don't cure diseases. What doctor, what hospital in this whole entire world cured people? It's because when we look at it, the numbers just keep going up. So if the doctors is doing their job, then these numbers won't be going up. And also, of course, they can also diagnose this cancer in your food too. But that's why it's important to get spiritual and do things in moderation and to know what time you're eating too, because you don't know what kind of witchcraft or sorcery or any kind of negative vibes or energy or bad batch that food had, or what kind of negative energy it was put into. Feel me? Because people get those to their desires and shit, and that's how they get possessed. Just like how you're supposed to be doing things to benefit you and worship yourself and praise yourself. You keep giving attention in mind, body, and soul to something like, for instance, going to church every day, praising something, thinking that shit cool, thinking you good, but deep down the line, you're just building firmaments and blockages on yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you need this physical representation to feel good about yourself, then take that into consideration when you want food. And what happens? Feel me? It's the polar opposite. It's the polar shift. Basically, you worship something, you praise something, you give your power to it, and you feel exhausted. You feel tired. Feel me? Like you work all Monday to Saturday. You go to church Sunday. You ain't got time for yourself. Feel me? You in the hell, and you trapping yourself in that motherfucking shit too. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming out that sky to save you neither. You only can save yourself. You only can believe in yourself. That's it. That's all. You only got yourself at the end of the day. The overall God and the universe is always gonna put people, places, things, and circumstances, situations in front of you on the spiritual spectrum. Now it's gonna come down to the soul. It's gonna come down to density. It's gonna play out in these representations in your life on a day-to-day, depending on how consistent you is, depending on how practical you is. Feel me? So yeah. So colon cancer can be cured. It's just about how much time and attention and detail and how much the state of being you in, your mind. Your mind is going to basically get you out of these circumstances, situations. You got to have a strong mind. You got to be very powerful. You got to speak it into existence every day. You got to believe in it. You got to act like it too. So I know a couple people that held themselves with cancer, and they did it themselves. They told me they got their mind right. Feel me? You can get your mind right. You can get anything going for yourself, and you can basically play out these spectrums and shit like that too. So it's not the reason or the fact that, you know, you feel sad, you feel overwhelmed, you feel worried. Of course, it's a low vibrational state. You got diagnosed with some shit that was trying to kill you, and their intentions is to want to kill you and depopulate you. Especially if people keep overly eating and shit. You know, they say it runs in black, quote unquote black African Americans. So at the end of the day, that be the main target too. Especially out here in these neighborhoods, like, you know, the lower income neighborhoods and shit like that. And they just trying to get rid of y'all. Feel me? They feel the need. Oh, you not right with your life. You on food stamps. You on this. You on that. You on the Section 8. All this other shit. These are the motherfuckers that want you dead. They don't want to keep taking care of y'all too. That's another thing too. They feel the need that, oh, these motherfuckers is useless. Yada yada yada. Oh, let's kill them off. Oh, these people keep having babies. Oh, let's create HIV/AIDS. Oh, these people keep having kids. Let's give them breast cancer. So when the kids suck on the breast and get that shit, it's gonna affect them too in some way, shape, or form. It's gonna get them a cancer. Feel me? They know what the fuck they doing. Feel me? So at the end of the day, you can't trust these motherfuckers. You can only believe in yourself. You can only put in the intent work. You can only do the spells and the rituals that'll get you out of these circumstances, situations. And when people say, and when I tell people about spells and rituals and basically spiritual spectrums, they get all spooked out and shit. The whole time they would eat a dead fucking animal that was slaughtered, which is a ritual, which the blood was sucking out and all that. Then they would get crazy with spells, but at the whole time, spells is just words. You use curse words, you use spells, words, it's the same fucking shit. Now, when you can basically apply that energy towards you healing yourself, then what can you say? But, oh, you rather go to the doctor, you rather go get healed by a doctor, which they ain't gonna heal you. They gonna basically hide your symptoms and create another motherfucking symptom for your ass. That's why you can't trust these motherfuckers. Feel me? You just can't trust them. And that's the thing, too. The more you believe into somebody outside of you, the more you give your power to it. That shit hell you creating for yourself. Because you ain't go through no new phases as far as how to treat it or care for yourself. Your ass was just doctor. God. Religion. Worship. Praise. Feel me? Where your power at? Because last I checked, I only see you, motherfucker. And if you ain't strong, if you ain't the independent, how the fuck we gonna depend on you? Because clearly your ass gonna be like, oh, go to the doctor. That's the first thing you gonna fucking say. And basically, this is a generational curse. Even from school, too. They even got people trapped into, you go to school every day. Oh, when you grow up, now your child gotta repeat the phase. Because you gave all your power and attention thinking you had to go to school for the rest of your life. Knowing that you can just basically tap into yourself and change your world and change your outlook on your whole motherfucking world. You ain't have to go to school. You ain't have to get a job. You ain't have to do none of that shit. Society told you that shit. You powerful. You gave all your power to society. Gave all your attention to the books and all that bullshit. Not saying this shit is bad. It ain't nothing wrong with interacting and learning shit. But at the end of the day, whatever you want to be, you need to put mind, body, and soul and attention to that shit. And of course, depending on the people, places, and things that you're around, and circumstances, situations, these can be very hard. But that's why it's important to make sure you're in the right state of mind. And you make sure you're very talented and creative. Basically, find your gift, find your purpose. Feel me? Because we in the new times now. So at the moment you keep allowing something outside of you to take you over and do whatever it want to do for you, or somebody impending on what you should do with your life, is the moment you got practice witchcraft on. Because you should have your own outlook on what you want to do in life, especially if you're a human being, feel me? Or else you're going to keep coming back here and being in this hell. You want to escape this shit. You don't want to keep being here forever. And death is fucking beautiful. That's basically it. So how to cure colon cancer? Write down on paper, do an intent break, take some spiritual herbs, take some hot peppers, Mix that shit up, drink it in your body, detox your body. Because basically, you're going to kill and basically pepper the disease and illness out your body. You don't have to get it to a doctor, though.